Hello model railroad fans, welcome to Vintage Road and Rail. In today's video we're going to take a look at the most famous train of all time, the Chattanooga Choo-Choo. There are, to my knowledge, three different versions of the Chattanooga Choo-Choo. There's a diesel with a GP20 locomotive, and we have taken a look at that train set in the past, and I will post a link to that either in the description below or at the end of this video. If you haven't seen that, take a look. Then there is an older set than this one that comes with a 280 locomotive. So that means it's got 2 pilot wheels, 8 driving wheels, and it has no trailing trucks on the locomotive to support the firebox or the cab. But this one is the 080 version, and this particular train set is as it would appear in the 1981 catalog. Unfortunately, I don't actually have a copy of that catalog. It's one of two that I haven't been able to find yet, but I will try and post a picture somewhere in one of the corners so that you can take a look at the train set as it would appear in that catalog. So anyway, this is a video I've been trying to get to for a few weeks now, but my schedule's conspired against me. But here we are, so let's kind of dive in here and take a look. Alright, well, for full disclosure, let me get two things out of the way. One, I have not run this train set. I have not pulled anything out of the box. So I do not know if this locomotive actually runs. And I bought this close to 2 years ago, at least a year and a half ago, off of eBay, and I didn't have the good sense to take a snapshot or a screenshot, if you will, of the eBay description, so I can't remember if it was advertised as running or not. However, the other thing, I did go in and look and make sure everything was complete as near as I could tell. Alright, well, with all that out of the way, let's dive in. Alright, so let's look at the box. So we can see here it's a Tyco Chattanooga Choo-Choo, the most famous train of all time. And we've got some really nice artwork here of the locomotive pulling some cars. But Tyco thinks they're clever. As I said, this appeared in the 1981 catalog. But in the 1980 catalog, and I believe also the 79 catalog, I don't know about past that because I didn't look any further, instead of coming with this Burlington car, it came with a chrome tank car, and you can see how they've cleverly hid that tank car behind the chew here in the Choo-Choo. You can just see the edge of it, so they think they slick, but we on to them. Alright, so over here we've got some caution information, and we've got here that says steam locomotive with the old-time glamour of realistic smoke and a 17-piece bridge and trestle set. Alright, down here on the box we can see that it has a $10 in cash refunds bonus inside, and we've got a 90-day limited warranty, which I'm pretty sure we've passed that. But anyway, here is the 17-piece bridge and trestle set, and now let's kind of work our way across to this track, which I was pleased to see it comes with true steel, which, while it's not as good as nickel silver, it is definitely a step up from the old brass track. And then we've got our Chattanooga caboose. Then up here we've got our Burlington hopper car. And across here we've got a 50-foot box car, but this is a billboard car. This is Old Dutch Cleanser. And moving on up, we've got our pulpwood car. And then we've got the main show itself, the Chattanooga Choo-Choo locomotive. And as I said earlier, this is an 080 locomotive, and you can see the 8 driving wheels there. And it comes with a little funnel and a little vial of liquid smoke. Looked to be empty to me, just from what I could tell, but I haven't taken it out to actually look at it and see. Alright, so let's pop the top here and see what else we've got inside, because I found a surprise in here. Alright, so let's just let that fold back. Alright, and right here, I'm not entirely sure what actually came in this box originally, if it came with the train set or not, because it has parts of the bridge and trestle set in there. I would have thought it would have been in here, but I'm not entirely sure it would have fit, so maybe it actually did come in that box for space reasons. Alright, and over here we have got our Tyco gold colored power pack. And when I lifted this up, I found the first surprise. Not much of one, but it was still interesting to see. These are little wires that connect your power pack to your track, but it also came with this spool of wire, and it's got a red and a black, so it looks like it was I'm not sure if I was in camera there, meant to go between a power pack and the track there. So that was kind of hid under this little guy here, so we'll put that back on. Alright, and we got some paperwork, and what's hid under this paperwork was the really interesting surprise that I wasn't expecting. So let's go ahead and lift that out of the way, and I'll show you what that is. And there we go. We got a triple dome Exxon tank car. To my knowledge, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do not believe this came with the train set originally. And then, so when I actually run this, if this locomotive runs, we'll go ahead and throw this on the train set as well. Alright, so here is the refund card, I should say. And then we have some paperwork here. There's a few different pieces, but mostly it's how to get everything set up, some troubleshooting, and a packing list. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is, just to kind of make this video a little bit shorter, I'm going to unbox all of this and then set this box off to the side, and then we can take a look at each component individually, and then we'll get loaded up on the track here and give her a test run. Alright, so give me a few minutes to get that taken care of, get set up on the tripod, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm not set up on the tripod just yet, as you can tell, but just wanted to jump back in here real quick for a moment. As I was pulling everything out of this box, I couldn't help but to notice that when I moved this, a whole bunch of stuff kind of fell out, and it looked like there was a couple of different bridge and trestle sets. Looked like the standard Tyco one, and then there was, which has like these right here. I don't know if you can really see that with the glare, but it looked like the traditional bridge and trestle set that comes with a lot of the Tyco train sets. But there was a whole bunch of extra stuff in there, and when I looked a little closer in this, it looked like there was some additional stuff that did not come with, again, the traditional Tyco bridge and trestle set. So what I'm thinking is that the bridge and trestle set was probably originally in this box, and this was just empty as a filler, but like that Exxon car was an extra piece. I'm guessing there was a few extra pieces that the original owner had that they had just shoved in this box and then consolidated the rest of it into here. So just wanted to pop in real quick and discuss that real quick. Alright, so give me just a moment and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got everything out of the box and set up on the train table, and I've taken the big train set box and set it off to the side. But if you'll notice, the Exxon car is not here. While I was unboxing everything, I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, it doesn't come with the train set, or at least as near as I could tell. So I opted just to leave it out. So I apologize if anybody was looking forward to maybe seeing that, but I'm sure it will make an appearance in a future video somewhere. But for now, let's just focus on the train set itself. Alright, so let's look at the caboose first. And we've got ourselves here a Chattanooga red caboose. It's got a number of 607. And if we walk around the caboose, we can see that we've got hand railing, plastic chain, a ladder, and a brake wheel, all intact. And on top, we've got our smokestack. And on the other side, it's the same as the previous side, but it's all intact. And on the bottom we've got a little bit of molded in detail, and our trucks are complete with its wheels, wheel sets, and horn hook couplers. So that's all looking pretty good. Alright, and next we've got this Burlington hopper car. Looks to be in great shape. On the bottom we can see that our trucks are intact. Everything that should be there is there. This end looks to be in great shape. But back to this side we see that our little ladders are there, the stirrups. And if we flip it around to the other side, we can see the same thing. And we got some nice printed on detail on both sides. Nice big BN for the Burlington Northern, and we got some detail about the car. And the only thing wrong with this car is, as you can see, it's missing its brake wheel, which is, really, to be honest with you, not that big of a surprise. I'm oftentimes more surprised when things come with a brake wheel because they're so easily lost. Alright, well next let's move to our pulpwood car. And we've got a little bit of molded detail on the bottom. Trucks have everything that they're supposed to have. And we've got our pulpwood load. It's made of plastic, and we can see it says the Southern Railroad right here. Everything's looking good. Stirrups are present. If we go over to this end, we've got some molded in detail, looks pretty good, and you can see our brake wheel there. So everything looks great there. Other end has a little bit more molded in detail. Nothing to write home about, but it's still nice to see. And pretty much the same as the other side. You can remove this load if you want to. It's just basically a plastic box. Nothing fancy about it. But if you felt you needed to add some extra weight to this car, it would be real easy to put a little bit of weight right here, and then you can just hide it inside this load here. Alright, if I can get the load back in. There it goes. Alright. Now for the part, excluding the steam locomotive, the part that would probably attract kids' attention when they walk by this set at the store would be this bright yellow and red billboard boxcar. This is a 50-foot boxcar. It's Old Dutch Cleanser, and we've got the little Old Dutch maid. It says she chases dirt. And we can see on this side everything looks really nice, nothing worn. Got the molded in detail for the door and for the ladder. And you can see our stirrups are present. They've not been broken off. And you can see our trucks are intact. Everything that should be there is there. Molded in detail. And on this end, we've got some more molded in detail. Looks really good. And this side is the same as the other. And again, just to kind of draw some attention to the stirrups present, you notice that they're filled in. I don't know if it's true or not, but something that I had read indicated that Tyco had started manufacturing their cars by filling these in. I had initially thought as a cost-saving measure, but what that article had told me was that it was parents were complaining about these parts always getting broke off, and so by making them one solid piece, you almost have to intentionally break them off. I don't know for sure if that's true or not. If someone knows for sure, absolutely in the comments let me know. And then on this end, you can see we do have our brake wheel. Alright, now let's get to the locomotive itself. So this will be a little bit more challenging to show off because the tender is attached to the locomotive. So I'm going to lay it down right here. I'm sorry the camera's going to jerk all over the place. Well, let me see if I can adjust it down without it jerking too much. And let's see if we can zoom in just a bit. Alright, so we can see our 8 driving wheels here. And here's our tender. This has a power torque motor, so this is tender driven. And you can see up here we've got our front coupler, and we've got our number 638, and we've got some nice molded in detail here. So let's go ahead and flip it up here. And we've got our smokestack. This is where you would put some of that fluid. We've got our bell, and we've got some nice molded in detail, and we got these domes here, some molded in detail on top of the cab, and we got a nice molded in coal load. All right, and just kind of pulling it forward. We got our horn hook coupler present. All right, and let's get to the front here. You can see, whoop, there we go. You can see we've got our built-in headlight and a little bit of styrofoam clinging on there. Nothing seems to be broken. Everything looks good. And then pretty much the same on this side. So I think it looks really good. All right, so that's just kind of a quick walk around of all the components. So let me stop this video, get her set up on the track, and let's see if she'll run. All right, I've got the locomotive on the track, and I've loaded the cars up back here. So we're going to test out the locomotive, see if it runs, and if it does, we'll back it up and hook onto those cars and give it a test around the track. All right, so but let's first just test the engine out without any cars on it. I've got my power pack on and make sure it's on forward. All right, let's go. Oh, it's moving. Well, get in. Ooh, running awful rough. Let's bring it back here. Yeah, it's running terrible. Either we've got a bit of a derailment or we got some wore out traction tires. Let's get down here and look. No, we are on the rails. So I think we might have some worn out traction tires. Maybe brittle or broken or something like that. Maybe one missing. So I'm going to go ahead and stop right here, inspect those traction tires, and if it's something that I can take care of, I'll get it whipped into shape and we'll try again. That was a bit of a job. I've replaced all 4 traction tires. When I got it over to my desk and flipped it over, I could see that 2 were missing and 2 looked to be cracked and split. And I didn't pull off a full traction tire, so I think some had already fallen off, and that was probably what was doing all that, causing all that jerkiness. With a diesel locomotive, that's a 2-minute, maybe 5-minute fix. But with this, it's a whole another bear. You've got a lot of work to do. And I give a shout out to a friend of mine named Brian. He's got a really good video that shows how to fix these, or to service these, I should say. And I'll try to remember to put a link to that in the description. But anyway, so we've got 4 new traction tires. And since I was in there, I went ahead and oiled everything up and put a little bit of grease on the gears. So let's see how it's running now. Let's turn it on. Well, you were running better a minute ago. There we go. Alright, let's bring her back. She seems to have smoothed out a bit more. But now we're stalling out. Alright, so let's pull these cars around here. And let's see if she smooths out and runs a little better after a couple of laps. And there she goes. I think she's running pretty good. That strong wobbliness that we were getting from the tender is not there. Just running pretty strong. Alright, well that is a look at this Chattanooga Choo-Choo 080 steam locomotive. with the old Dutch Cleanser boxcar, Burlington hopper, pulpwood flat car, and caboose. Looking really nice. Alright. Well, if you have this train set or have had it in the past, let me know down in the comments what you think about it. Or if you have any other of the Tyco 080 locomotives, such as the Clementine or the Great Northern. Would like to hear about it. Alright, well that's a look at this train set. So if you enjoyed this, make sure and hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below, and hit that notification bell. That way you'll be alerted as to when my next video comes up. Alright, well thank you very much for joining me today. Happy model railroading, guys. Take care.